just wanted to know, in terms of the Kansas City Chiefs, they look like, if you told me a month ago that they had the AFC West on lock, I wouldn't have agreed. I wouldn't have disagreed with you. But now, look at those standings. We might have your Broncos in a position where they could control their own destiny if a few games go a certain way. Right now, the strength of schedules for the last 5 games is pretty comparable between the Broncos and the Chiefs. So I want to know, is there a possibility, Liv, that the Chiefs can cough up this division to the Broncos, or even an outside shot, maybe the Raiders or the Chargers if they don't charge?
Yeah, there is a chance for sure. I think that one thing that is disappointing as a Broncos fan right now is that their momentum kind of got cut short. They had, to me, a momentum there for that winning streak that was kind of unbreakable, untouchable. They were really finding their groove and their rhythm, but let's also not forget that this is not a perfect football team. Even great teams lose games, and so I'm hoping that even this upcoming week when the Broncos face a division opponent in the Chargers, listen, there's not a whole lot that's threatening to me about the Chargers. Putting 6 points up on the board against a team that really is, I don't even know should be in the NFL right now, to be honest with you, is not a very, an impressive game to me. And obviously, you've got a guy like Justin Herbert that at any given moment can turn a game around. I am like in this phase of my life where I just want Justin Herbert to be free from his shackles and get him in a position where he can be in a winning situation, because he's a winning quarterback and he's a great quarterback, but he's not in that position right now. I think that if the Broncos defense can do what they've been doing when they were winning those games and kind of tighten things back up, there is a really good shot. I mean, I think the Broncos' toughest competitor potentially from an offensive perspective will be the Lions in the coming weeks, but they'll face the Raiders, they'll face the Chargers. Their schedule gets significantly easier from here on out. Now, that being said, they lost very easy games at the beginning of the year. So I'm not overly confident that they're going to do it, but their momentum was definitely heading in the right direction. So, I mean, again, like Patriots, to me, that's a no-brainer. The Lions, that'll be a tough one, but I think they can do it. The Chargers, to me, not impressive after what I saw last week. So, yeah, when you're looking at these two schedules, they're pretty easy for both of these teams, outside of obviously the Bills being a pretty big rival for the Chiefs. There is, to me, it's very up in the air, absolutely. But there's something about this Chiefs team right now that just doesn't feel connected. It doesn't feel connected, so I don't have a ton of faith in them. But that being said, I don't really have a ton of faith in my Broncos, who started 1-5 either, because again, it's tough. So we'll see what happens, but it's definitely up for grabs if they can keep winning games, for sure.
Well, you know what, Jeff and Liv, since I paid my debt to Mile High Society, I paid my debt, okay? I paid my debt. I did what I said I was going to do. I apologized to Russell Wilson. I didn't think the Broncos would get to an over 500 position. They did, and subsequently fell right back to 500. So since I paid my debt.
You see that? You see that, Jeff? You see that little jab?
Oh, it's about, no, it's going to get worse. No.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go. Get worse. Since the slate is clean, let me tell you, ain't no way in hell, ain't no way in hell that the Denver Broncos are going to win this division. Ain't no way in hell that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to choke away their chokehold on the AFC West. They're going to go, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. They're going to finish with a record of 12-5. They're going to win 4 of their last 5 games. They will lose to the Bengals, because the Bengals know how to play the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to win the other 4 games. They'll be 12-5, which automatically means they win the division, because the Broncos have 6 losses. And look, let's see if the Broncos can get to a nice, respectable 8-9 or 9-8. But I just, Liv, Jeff, we're still talking about the Chiefs. It's so funny what happens when teams disappoint, and like when great teams disappoint, we overcorrect. We go so far. We exaggerate the frailties. We exaggerate the weaknesses. And now the Chiefs, at 8-4 with Patrick Mahomes, could be in trouble. No, they're not in trouble. They're still one of the best teams in football. They're going to win that division. They're in the conversation for conference champs. And the Broncos are life and death with 500, trying to make the playoffs. So, come on. No way, right? Am I right?
This is what I would say to you, Holly. They did it to themselves. They put themselves in that position. I would love to say that a month ago, like I said, I would have thought that they were good to go, but they've been playing shaky over the last few games. They've lost games that they probably should have, and when they win the games, they're winning it by small margins. So if you look at what's going on in the AFC West now, shout out to Antonio Pierce, former Giant, former champion Giant. Let me say that he's taken over in Las Vegas. The Chargers are the greatest X factor in the history of football that I've been watching, because it feels like TV execs script their games. It doesn't matter. I thought it was a Phillip Rivers thing where in the fourth quarter, you knew it was going to be like an action movie in the final 10 minutes. It just passes on with Justin Herbert. I don't know which team is going to show up. They can run they can run the table, and I don't know whether to be shocked or to expect it. So I think there's a level of chaos that's been injected into the AFC West. And if the Chiefs played to their potential, we wouldn't even be discussing this. But they left the door open. So it's just a matter of, are the rest of the West going to walk through it?
Agreed. Boom. I like it.
No, I mean, that's not enough. Come on, Liv.
Oh God.
Liv, Liv, I'm poking. I'm poking here.
I know you love to do that. You really do love to do that. Yeah. Well, okay. So here's the thing.
But do you really believe that the Broncos could win do you truly believe the Broncos could catch the Chiefs and win the AFC West? You believe that?
Could and will are two different words. So could, yes.
Okay. How about this?
Could, yes. You asked could,
percentage.
Yes.
50, is it 50-50? Is it like they have a 30% chance? Give it to me in percentages. I know they have a chance. 2% is a chance. Is it 30? Is it a realistic?
Had they just won their last game, I'd be closer to 50. I'm going to give them 35, but I also know just how crazy every NFL Sunday is, and teams that should win don't, and teams that should lose don't. And so to me, the momentum that first of all, let's talk about the mental toughness of the Broncos. I think that's one thing right there that a lot of people don't want to give them enough credit for. And to me, that's half of the sport of football. You've got the talent, of course. We knew before the season started, when everyone was hyped up about what the Broncos were capable of, that they had the talent on the roster. I also want to say, obviously, when Kareem Jackson gets thrown back into the mix for the Broncos, he's a game changer for this Broncos team. So you throw him back in the mix, and that could be something really special for this Broncos team in the last chunk of their season. I will say their mental toughness, the ability to turn around a 1-5 season, to go on a win streak the way that they did, the Vance Joseph defense making a complete 180, the mental toughness there, anything can happen if you've got mental toughness to that level. So it's hard to not give them credit and say that anything is possible and they can make it happen, because the ability to block out the noise and remain positive and keep focused on, clearly when there was no trade made before the deadline, there was a piece of me that went, either Sean Payton is like totally lost his mind, or he sees something building that we don't see yet. And so obviously post-trade deadline, we started to see, oh, there's Judy. I thought he'd be gone. Oh, Sutton is now a massive part of this offense. And so to me, the Broncos have seen the vision from the beginning of the season. Now, 1-5, obviously the vision was not actually forming into wins and being profitable for this team. But now we're seeing everything start to click, and you add that in with the mental toughness piece. And I think it's hard not to give them a little bit of credit to say they could win out their season. And again, this is the part where Holly's going to get it. Holly, I know you don't like to talk numbers. You like to talk wins here. But if we do compare statistically Patrick Mahomes versus Russell Wilson this season, one is better than the other, and it's not who most people want to admit is better than the other. Russell Wilson has played better by himself as a quarterback. Statistically, Russell Wilson has played better football than Patrick Mahomes. If you're a numbers guy, Russell Wilson has played better than Patrick Mahomes this season. Now, whether or not that those performances translate to wins, that doesn't all fall on Russell Wilson. Holley, we've gone back and forth about this a million times, and I get it. At the end of the day, you just want to win football games. Is Russell Wilson the most clutch? Not really, when we just saw him throw an interception in the end zone to end the Texans game. I get it. However, the talent is there. Russell Wilson is more than capable. They have, to me, right now, the Broncos actually have better momentum despite coming off of a loss than the Chiefs do at the moment. Because like Jeff is saying, the Chiefs right now aren't playing fundamentally sound football. They're a little shaky. They've left the door open now for people to be able to beat this team. And we haven't been able to say that in years past. In years past, it's been, if Patrick Mahomes is on the field, you're losing the game because he's him. But we're not seeing that same energy from this Chiefs team. And what we are seeing from the Broncos is that they'll fight for it, and they're going to keep fighting for it. And so again, I credit that mental toughness to a lot of what they could do with the rest of their season. It'll be interesting to see what they can do against a division opponent in the Chargers this week, but it's possible. Could they? Yes. Will they? It's going to be tough.
I like it, Liv. Hey. I respect it. I don't you respect it, Jeff? Jeff, final word to you on this.
Broncos plus 300 to make the playoffs. I may throw a light bill at that. Because I don't believe in the Colts. I don't believe in the Browns. They're a game away. They win their AFC games. Hey, anything could happen. That's an awesome bet. That plus 300 to make the playoffs is an awesome bet.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.